I'd like to talk today about the twin narratives. Now, the twin narratives are the conceptual and the physical. To give you an idea of what the twin narratives are, I'd like for you to believe for a second, just imagine, that all of human history was a movie. Now, imagine watching that movie with the sound off. So all you have is the visual cues of the objects, situations, and events that occur in the movie. And watching it in that way would be an example of the physical narrative. Now, imagine watching the movie, but turning the screen off and just listening to the information, right? Most of that's going to be conveyed through dialogue. Now, dialogue is also a physical thing, sound, pressure waves, but we're going to ignore that because it's a symbol for information. Now, watching the movie with the screen off, you're going to see that there's also a developing narrative of information that goes across time that develops in the same way like the situations and events of the movie do. Now, as human beings, in order to do good sense making, we need to make sure that there's coherence between these two narratives, between both the conceptual and the physical. And the way that we do that is we anchor the two narratives together through symbols. So a lot of times when you see statues, when you see buildings named after people, this is what they're actually doing. There's other effects of it, glory and all of that people, I think of first. But at the core, what these things do is tie together the events, the physical events in space, and the evolution of information across time, right? And our sense-making depends on that. Because if we confuse what events occur with what information changes, right, then we can miscategorize the causality between the two, right? And we can decrease the coherence between those two narratives across time, and then we can end up making mistakes because we believe that certain events will cause changes in the information ecosystem that they won't. Or likewise, we can make changes in the information ecosystem and assume that they'll lead to changes in the physical world that they won't. So that is why if you ever look at any society that undergoes a revolution, one of the first things that has to be done is you have to destroy the common monuments that bind together the twin narratives for the common people, right? So you tear down all the statues, you rename all the buildings, you destroy everything that stands as a reminder of events and the information that's attached to them. Because so long as people continue to have that same reference frame, as long as those symbols continue to anchor the information and physical narratives, the conceptual and physical narratives, then people will know when you're selling them a load of crap. But if you destroy all those things, if you decouple them, if you rearrange them, right, then people don't have those anchors for sense making that they can look to see if what you're telling them is coherent, or if what you're doing will actually lead to the changes that you say they will, right? So in the same way that all our cognitive functions work to create coherence between the metaphysical world, our mind, and the physical world, we also do that in social systems to maintain a common social framework. So when people say that common sense is no longer common, ask yourself, to what degree have we removed these anchors in the twin narratives? And how are those twin narratives becoming decoupled? Anyway, that's just something for you to think about, something I think about a lot, and I hope that you found this helpful.